Now, what if I told you that within those words lies a nest of hidden truths waiting to unfold and shape the future of humanity? This is the secret wisdom of the Lord's Prayer. What if every Our Father whispered deeper meanings that could guide us through the complexities of life, the intricacies of our faith, and the journey of our souls? Could it be possible that the simplicity of our daily rituals holds profound insights? The Lord's Prayer, one of the most recognized invocations across spiritual traditions, may serve as a roadmap to understanding our existence and our connection to the universe. This prayer, repeated in times of peace and silence, cradles insights that offer illumination in the shadows of doubt and despair. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross, the renowned psychiatrist and author, dedicated her life to uncovering the secrets of human emotion, particularly in the face of death and grief. Her transformative work emphasizes the need to explore the deeper aspects of our existence, encouraging us to confront what we often shy away from. Through her lens, we can start to unpack the layers of the Lord's Prayer, guiding our understanding of spirituality and human experiences intertwined with our future. As we embark on this enlightening journey, it becomes essential to ask ourselves, why do such hidden messages matter? In turbulent times, the simplicity of a prayer can anchor us, yet we often overlook the profound nuances nestled within its verses. When was the last time you paused to reflect on what those words truly mean? When we dismiss the repetitive rhythm of our rituals, we risk losing their depth and significance. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross's journey illuminated how we cope with life's most profound challenges. She taught us that denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance are stages in our human experience, a poignant map to navigate our emotional terrain. What if we applied this understanding as we meditate on the Lord's Prayer? Struggling with these emotions can feel isolating, leading us to overlook how the prayer could serve as a lifeline, a source of resilience during challenging times. This exploration invites you to consider your relationship with spirituality. Are you merely reciting familiar words, or are you engaging in a dynamic conversation with the divine? The Lord's Prayer not only reflects our highest aspirations, but also urges us to confront our emotions and actions in our daily lives. What do you feel when repeating these words? Do they give you strength, or perhaps evoke questions about your faith? Let's think about this. What does the Lord's Prayer not only reflects our highest aspirations, but also urges us to confront our emotions and actions in our daily lives. What do you feel when repeating these words? Do they give you strength, or perhaps evoke questions about your faith? Let's think about this. What does the act of prayer symbolize for you? An obligation, a comfort, a connection to something greater? In moments of turmoil, it may feel easier to turn away from such rituals. However, Kübler-Ross reminds us that confronting our pain can yield pathways to understanding and healing. Exploring the layers of our prayers enables us to examine the authenticity of our spiritual experience. From denial, "This can't be real," to acceptance, "I embrace the uncertainty." As we peel back the layers of the Lord's Prayer, let us prepare to shine light on the intricacies that lie beneath the surface. What if your most poignant insights about life, love, and loss waited for you not in grand revelations, but in the rhythmic cadence of a prayer spoken daily? If you're curious about uncovering hidden truths in familiar rituals, subscribe now and join us on this enlightening journey. Together, we will walk through the complexities of our emotions and spirituality, digging deep into the transformative wisdom encapsulated within each verse of the Lord's Prayer. Join us and let's unravel this collective narrative that speaks to our collective humanity, and guides us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other. As we delve further into the intricacies of the Lord's Prayer, we confront a vital aspect of our spiritual journey, the emotions of denial and anger. At times, reciting this prayer can feel like an unavoidable ritual, a gesture dictated by tradition or habit. But what happens when the very act of praying becomes a source of internal conflict? What if, beneath the surface of reverence, there lies a struggle, a battle against the denial of pain and the anger we often bury deep inside? In moments of distress, how often do we find ourselves grappling with faith? Kübler-Ross beautifully articulated that denial is a natural stage in the grieving process, a shield we use to protect ourselves from overwhelming emotions. How do we apply this understanding when it comes to our spiritual lives, especially during moments of crisis? When reciting "Thy will be done," do we truly embrace the words, or do we falter, caught in a state of resistance? Often, denial manifests in our prayers as we attempt to bypass the deep questions that gnaw at our hearts. Think back to a pivotal moment in your life, perhaps a loss, a disappointment, or a profound change. Did you find solace in your prayers, or were you consumed by anger against a seemingly indifferent universe? It's easy to ignore these feelings, to recite the familiar lines without confronting the turmoil that lies underneath. Yet, acknowledging our anger can be the first step in authenticating our faith. Kübler-Ross taught us that feeling anger is not merely acceptable, but necessary. It is part of the journey toward healing and understanding. Let's consider an example that resonates with many of us. Picture a time when you prayed fervently for something that never materialized, be it healing, guidance, or peace. The disappointment that followed can lead to feelings of resentment and questioning. In those moments, did you recite the Lord's Prayer with faith, or did you do so through gritted teeth, masking your doubts? What if we approached these feelings not with shame, but with inquiry? This lens invites us to explore our experiences rather than suppress them. Denial can be comforting, but it can also breed stagnation. When we deny our doubts and fears, we become trapped in a cycle that prevents growth. The Lord's Prayer invites us to embrace vulnerability. What if we allowed ourselves to be honest during our prayers? Instead of glossing over our anger with routine phrases, we could take the opportunity to confront our emotions. Lead us not into temptation. Could that mean learning to give space to our anger instead of shoving it aside? As we engage with these concepts, reflect on how you can integrate this understanding into your daily life. Are there specific moments when you feel detached from your prayers? Perhaps you're reciting words without meaning, drifting in denial. Kübler-Ross encourages us to stand in our truth, recognizing that our struggles with faith are as valid as our moments of clarity. As we continue this exploration, I invite you to ponder, how can acknowledging your anger and denial shape your relationship with faith? How might they trigger a deeper understanding of the sacred words you speak? The Lord's Prayer is not merely a safety net. It is a bridge that connects our sorrows with potential healing. Have you ever felt denial or anger when reciting the Lord's Prayer? These emotions can be integral to forging a more profound connection with our spirituality. It is through recognizing these feelings that we cultivate resilience. Embrace them as part of your spiritual journey. I encourage you to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. How do denial and anger manifest in your relationship with prayer? By engaging in this dialogue, we can foster an atmosphere of openness and growth where our collective insights help illuminate the path ahead. Let's journey through this together, inviting understanding into our practices and experiences. As we navigate the turbulent waters of faith and emotion, we arrive at another crucial phase in our journey, negotiation amidst suffering. The struggle to understand is part of our human experience, and it is often intertwined with our spiritual practices. As we recite the Lord's Prayer, we might find ourselves negotiating with our emotions, particularly during moments of heartache and turmoil. This dance of negotiation can illuminate how we seek meaning in our suffering, transforming it into an opportunity for growth. What does it mean to negotiate our faith? It's about wrestling with the questions that arise when life doesn't go according to plan. "Thy will be done" may roll off our tongues easily, but what happens when we grapple with the implications of truly accepting that will? Kübler-Ross taught us about the emotional patterns of grief and acceptance. Her work sheds light on how we can transform our sorrows into pathways for growth, illustrating how negotiation is often a necessary step on the road to understanding. Consider a time when you faced a significant loss or disappointment. Did you find yourself bargaining with the universe? Perhaps you prayed for something in exchange for your unwavering belief, saying, "If only I could have one more chance to set it right, I promise to be more faithful." This scenario reflects a common negotiation process that many undergo, attempting to find a sense of control amid chaos. We can often feel as though we are in conversation with the divine, seeking to understand our circumstances while yearning for answers to life's profound questions. In Kübler-Ross's 5 stages of grief, negotiation often surfaces as a natural impulse where we try to make sense of our suffering. However, it can lead us to a dead end if we resist ultimate acceptance. The Lord's Prayer offers us a unique framework to explore this pattern. As we engage with the prayer, we must ask ourselves, are we merely seeking to negotiate with God, or can we find healing in surrendering to what is? Instead of grasping for guarantees, perhaps we can begin to embrace the uncertainty that surrounds us. In recognizing the 7 prophecies encapsulated in the Lord's Prayer, messages of hope, connection, and healing, we find a guide that helps us confront the chaos in our lives. "Forgive us our trespasses" invites us to reconcile not only with others, but also with ourselves. How can we find peace if we hold on to anger or guilt? Reflect on how negotiation often plays out in your life. Do you bargain with your faith during difficult times? Do you find yourself seeking solace in the familiar recitation of the Lord's Prayer as a means to find stability? Let's challenge ourselves to engage more authentically with our prayers. Instead of demanding answers, what if we embrace the questions? By allowing ourselves to explore these uncertainties, we can cultivate a deeper connection to the sacred words, transforming our negotiations into moments of profound insight. How does this negotiation process resonate with you? When faced with struggle, how can you shift your approach to prayer? Acknowledging your emotional negotiations can lead you to greater self-awareness and understanding about what your faith means to you. As we journey through these reflections, consider sharing what your own negotiation looks like. What strategies do you employ to help you make sense of your pain within the context of your faith? How can the 7 prophecies serve as touchstones of hope in your moments of struggle? By discussing these themes, we create a space where we can support one another as we navigate through our spiritual questions. I invite you to leave your thoughts in the comments below. What is your personal negotiation strategy when it comes to your faith during tough times? Let's explore this together and find ways to connect our struggles with the timeless wisdom present in the Lord's Prayer. As we embrace this journey, we may discover that the negotiation itself becomes a part of our healing, a transformative process that propels us towards understanding, acceptance, and ultimately growth. As we delve deeper into the emotional landscape mapped out by our spiritual journey, we arrive at the poignant stage of depression. This phase is often marked by a profound sense of loss and despair, where the weight of our experiences can feel almost suffocating. Life's challenges can cast shadows over our hearts, leading to a place where hope seems distant. It is during this struggle that many of us find ourselves turning to prayer, searching for solace in the familiar words of the Lord's Prayer. But how can we explore the depths of our depression while reciting such sacred phrases? Elisabeth Kübler-Ross emphasized that depression often comes after a series of negotiations and is an essential part of the grieving process. It is not a deterrent. It's a profound acknowledgement of our reality. When we utter, "Thy kingdom come," are we calling for hope, or are we yearning for a sense of belonging amidst the chaos? This line offers us a moment of reflection. What do we envision when we speak of the kingdom? Are we seeing a place filled with light and possibility, or are we caught in the shadows of our doubt? Consider how this sense of depression may impact your recitation of the Lord's Prayer. Have there been times when the act of praying felt like an exercise in futility, where the words echoed emptily in your heart? It's common during such periods to feel disconnected, as if we are simply going through the motions. Yet, what if we took this opportunity to delve deeper into our feelings? Instead of glossing over our sadness, we could acknowledge it, inviting our emotions into the prayer. Imagine saying, "Give us this day our daily bread," not just as a request for physical nourishment, but as a yearning for emotional sustenance. Can we recognize our need for comfort and support? In doing so, we transform our prayers from mere recitations into heartfelt expressions of our needs. Acknowledging our feelings of depression can be a powerful step in our healing journey. It allows us to confront the shadows rather than ignore them. But how do we carry that acceptance into our daily lives? Reflect on this. How often do you allow yourself to feel those deep emotions? Kübler-Ross teaches us that it's essential to sit with our pain rather than running from it. We often waste precious energy attempting to bypass these feelings, but what if we reframed our experience? Rather than a burdensome weight, we can see depression as an invitation to introspection, a time to listen deeply to our hearts. When we recite the Lord's Prayer during moments of darkness, let it serve as a gentle reminder that our experiences are not in vain. "Forgive us our trespasses" becomes more than a request for absolution. It evolves into a self-compassionate acknowledgement that we all struggle. In our moments of sadness, can we forgive ourselves for feeling lost or inadequate? This tension between our reality and aspirations lies at the heart of our prayerful journey. Next time you feel the sting of depression, consider how you might weave those emotions into your prayers. Are there words or phrases from the Lord's Prayer that resonate more with you during these times? How can you express your feelings, turning the act of prayer into a dialogue about your current emotional state? What if you allowed the prayer to be a cathartic release? Your confessions have the power to transform the simple act of recitation into an intimate conversation with the divine. By embracing the fullness of our feelings, including depression, we open ourselves to receive healing and insight. I urge you to share your experiences in the comments. How do you incorporate your feelings of sadness or despair into your prayers? By engaging openly with one another, we can create a shared narrative that deepens our understanding of the power of both faith and emotional honesty. As we explore this phase, let's remember that acknowledging our depression does not diminish our faith. Instead, it reveals the complexity of our humanity. This stage of introspection and acceptance can guide us toward the light beyond the darkness. The acceptance that, even in our lowest moments, we are still worthy of connection, hope, and love. Continue to join us as we journey together through each emotional landscape, unraveling the layers of meaning within the Lord's Prayer, seeking understanding, and ultimately healing. The next step awaits, and together we will uncover further insights into our spiritual and emotional evolution. As we progress into the poignant phase of acceptance, we arrive at a crucial turning point in our emotional and spiritual journey. Acceptance is not simply the resolution to our struggles. It is a profound acknowledgement of the reality we face. In the context of the Lord's Prayer, this stage reveals itself in the way we approach the lines with newfound understanding. Here, surrendering to the divine flow becomes an act of grace, one that may lead us to a deeper connection with both ourselves and the world around us. When we approach the Lord's Prayer with this perspective, how does the meaning of each phrase shift for you? "Give us this day our daily bread" can take on a broader interpretation, extending beyond physical needs to encompass emotional and spiritual sustenance as well. Are we not also entreating for the grace to accept our shortcomings? Reflect on this. What can you learn about yourself as you navigate the complexities of acceptance through prayer? In the spirit of Kübler-Ross, it is essential to realize that acceptance is often the culmination of a journey that includes denial, anger, bargaining, and depression. Each phase enriches our understanding of not just our struggles, but also our triumphs. Acceptance does not imply that we must relinquish all desire for change. Rather, it encourages us to recognize the beauty in the ongoing process of becoming. Have you felt a sense of relief or clarity at moments when you finally accepted a painful truth about yourself or your life? This acceptance doesn't erase the pain. It merely transforms it, opening doors to healing and growth. When we recite, "Thy kingdom come," we explicitly recognize the possibility of change, not only in the external world, but within our own hearts. Acceptance becomes the soil from which new seeds of joy, hope, and resilience can sprout. Here's something to ponder. What does your kingdom mean to you, especially now that you reflect on your journey through these emotional phases? Is it a state of inner peace, a sense of community, or perhaps the realization of your purpose? Acceptance invites us to redefine our visions of what fulfillment looks like. This reframing empowers us to reshape our prayers into intentions that resonate with our evolving understanding of life. As you ruminate on acceptance, I encourage you to share what this stage signifies in your journey. How have you come to terms with your experiences and emotions through prayer? What insights have emerged when you consciously welcomed acceptance into your conversations with the divine? Engaging in this dialogue means recognizing the power of collective wisdom and strength, a shared experience that fosters connection among us all. One powerful aspect of acceptance is the ability to forgive ourselves and others. "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us" becomes a profound reminder that acceptance flows both ways. It must start within us. Forgiveness allows us to let go of past hurts, freeing us from their grip. How has acceptance reshaped your capacity to forgive, either in your personal life or your spiritual practice? As we continue this journey together, embracing acceptance not only enhances our faith, but also deepens our connection to one another. This journey through the emotional layers provides the context for compassionate dialogue and understanding. In the comments below, I invite you to articulate what acceptance looks like for you. What practices help you embody this stage in your daily life? Accepting our circumstances is not an end. It is an invitation to evolve and connect more fully with ourselves, others, and the divine. With each line of the Lord's Prayer we explore, let's hold space for acceptance to thrive within us, encouraging community and shared growth through vulnerability. Together, we're not only reciting prayers, we're weaving our stories into one another, discovering uncharted depths of resilience and hope along the way. As we lean into this transformative phase, we open ourselves to even deeper layers of exploration in our spiritual and emotional evolution. The next chapter awaits, and together we'll define what acceptance can manifest in newfound possibilities. As we enter the final stages of our exploration, we arrive at a crucial juncture, the profound intersection of faith and resilience. This stage encourages us to reflect on how the complexities of human emotions can ultimately inform our understanding of spirituality. Embracing resilience is not merely about enduring the storms of life. It is about using those very storms as catalysts for growth and transformation. It brings to mind the closing reflections on the Lord's Prayer and the enduring hope that lies within each line. What does resilience embody for you, particularly as you consider the struggles and triumphs you have faced? Resilience requires a willingness to bend without breaking, much like the willow that flexibly sways with the wind rather than standing rigid against it. When we recite, "Lead us not into temptation," we can interpret it as a plea for strength to navigate life's trials. This line becomes a powerful reminder that our spiritual paths are often carved through both joy and suffering. In confronting the challenges life throws our way, how can we develop a resilient spirit? The essence of resilience lies in our ability to adapt and rise after each fall. The moment we recognize that every setback is not a dead end, but an opportunity for growth, we cultivate a fertile ground for faith to flourish. Perhaps one of the greatest lessons in resilience emerges through our awareness of the journey with the Lord's Prayer. Have there been experiences in your life that felt insurmountable at the time, yet became transformative in hindsight? Resilience often reveals itself in our ability to face challenges with an open heart and a willingness to learn. The line, "Deliver us from evil," serves as a prayer for liberation, for a break from the burdens that weigh us down. From what have you sought deliverance in your life? And how has that journey of seeking shaped your reliance on faith for strength? Being resilient means acknowledging our vulnerabilities while simultaneously standing tall. It involves cultivating a mindset that sees potential rather than obstacles, light rather than darkness. Remember the power embedded in "Thy will be done." It is a declaration of trust that, even amidst our struggles, there is a plan beyond our comprehension. Fostering resilience asks us to embrace uncertainty, allowing faith to guide us toward unforeseen opportunities and insights. Consider this: how can you integrate the lessons of resilience into your spiritual practice? The Lord's Prayer becomes a framework through which we can explore strength and vulnerability simultaneously. By meditating on each line, we can open ourselves to personal interpretation, allowing our experiences to deepen the understanding of these sacred words. How might you approach your daily prayers differently if you recognize them as conversations about resilience and strength? I invite you to share your thoughts below. What does resilience mean to you in the context of your spiritual journey? How have you learned to turn your struggles into sources of strength? By sharing our experiences, we remind each other that resilience is not a solitary pursuit. It is a collective journey that builds a tapestry of strength woven from many unique stories. As we explore resilience together, let us be mindful of those who walk alongside us in their own journeys. Our collective stories not only enrich our individual experiences, but also create a supportive network of shared hope. In those moments when we retreat to our prayers, let us lift each other, turning our struggles into motivation and our insights into inspiration for one another. Accepting our journey involves not only embracing our struggles, but also actively fostering resilience to rise again. As we draw our exploration of the Lord's Prayer to a close, let us carry forward the lessons learned from each emotional phase. With resilience as our companion, we transform our challenges into stepping stones, ultimately deepening our faith and enriching our experiences. In this final segment together, let's commit to rooting ourselves in the resilience that sustains us through life's storms. When we confront our struggles with a spirit of openness and vulnerability, we pave the way for profound transformations in our faith and connections with others. As we embark on this journey of resilience, remember, your voice matters, your experiences shape the narrative, and together we have the power to illuminate the path for ourselves and those who walk alongside us. As we come to the final chapter of our journey through the emotional and spiritual landscapes mapped out by the Lord's Prayer, it's essential to reflect on the threads of connection we've woven together. Throughout our exploration, we've traversed the nuanced terrains of denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, and resilience. Each phase has imparted its wisdom, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and fostering a profound bond with the divine and each other. This conclusion is not merely an end, it is a deep invitation to integrate what we've learned into the fabric of our lives. The lesson is clear. We are not alone in our struggles, nor should we be. The words we recite in prayer become a lifeline, one that connects us to our experiences, the heart of our faith, and to those who walk beside us. As we conclude our exploration, we might ask ourselves, how can we carry these insights into our everyday lives? Consider the line, "For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory." This phrase expresses the recognition of a higher purpose, a collective experience that transcends the individual self. When we embrace the idea that we are part of something greater, we allow ourselves to be held in a community of faith. This realization can help us remember that even amid chaos, there exists a united energy that drives us to love, support, and uplift one another. How can acknowledging this collective power transform your relationship with prayer? Have you ever felt that moment of unity with others when reciting familiar prayers or affirmations? This is the pulse of shared faith, a reminder that in our vulnerabilities, we find strength. When we lift our voices together, we create a melodic acknowledgement of our shared human experience, one that encompasses our individual struggles and transcends into a message of hope. One important aspect of this journey has been the constant invitation to engage with each phase of our emotional journey without judgment. What if we reframed our experiences, not as obstacles, but as opportunities to educate ourselves about the nature of our faith? How do you plan to nurture this openness as you move forward? Approaching life with curiosity can aid in transforming our struggles into sources of wisdom. In this spirit of openness, I invite you once again to share your stories and reflections in the comments. What takeaways from this exploration resonate most with you? How will you use these insights to foster connections with others in your community? This dialogue becomes an essential part of our collective evolution. As we step into the world beyond this reflective space, let us commit to fostering a culture of vulnerability, understanding, and grace. Our willingness to share our experiences, not only the triumphs, but also the trials, creates a ripple effect of compassion that enhances our collective spirit. Embrace the notion that sharing your story is a form of healing, not only for yourself, but for those who resonate with your experiences. Moving forward, how might you incorporate the themes of the Lord's Prayer into your daily life? Perhaps you will recite it with a heart of gratitude, feeling each word as a gentle reminder of your journey. Or maybe you will create new rituals to honor the emotions that arise as you navigate the complexities of life and faith. Remember, these sacred words are not just an ancient poem spoken by believers. They are a living testament to the human experience, beckoning us to dive deeper into our shared narratives. As we conclude, let us take a collective breath together, acknowledging the depths of our journey and embracing the resilience found in vulnerability. We are, each one of us, a tapestry woven with threads of faith, struggle, hope, and love. By holding space for one another, we empower our individual and collective hearts to thrive. The Lord's Prayer serves as a wellspring of connection, a reminder that our faith journeys don't exist in isolation. They are intricately linked to the stories of those around us, each thread revealing a new facet of divine love and human experience. As we step away from this exploration, let's take with us the understanding that we are not alone, and each prayer we offer, each story we share, reveals the extraordinary journey we all partake in. Together, we've illuminated a path of reflection, growth, and mutual support. We are called to carry forward the amazing insights we've gathered on this journey, allowing them to shape and guide us as we continue to navigate life's complexities with love, compassion, and resilience. Thank you for joining me on this enlightening exploration. May our hearts remain open to the ongoing journey of faith, discovery, and connection that lies ahead.